you know, you're not minions that we preach to every day. We share with you our perspective. Sometimes you say, yes, I agree. Sometimes you say, no, you don't agree. But you come back for more because you know it's in an environment of respect and that we try to do our best every single time. We make mistakes. We admit the mistakes that we make. We plow along. We take corrections as we go along. And I want you to put a lot of store into that in the listeners. This station, I believe, you'll go along and say things and some message in the public chat or they message you privately and say actually so and so and so. I wanted to know how quick we are to take correction and to say yes, you know, actually this is right. It's not in vogue these days to say you got anything wrong because we're all perfectionists. Everybody is a perfectionist. Everybody behind a microphone. Everyone behind a microphone can't make mistakes, never makes a mistake, and will never acknowledge that and them lie and dishonest. We are not that. Yes, we are human beings. We make errors and we try to correct them and move right along. This morning I must say I wrestled overnight. I sat up for some time last night thinking about this morning's segment. And I wanted to talk about media in 2025 because listeners, viewers, family members, people who are just stopping by for the morning, it's been a hell of a year for media in Jamaica. Having a conversation with some media owners recently, and to a person, they admit that 2025 has been their worst calendar year, many of them. It has been tough to meet, pay bill month after month. It's very, very difficult because of the environment. Yeah, it's very, and media all over the world, revenues just sliding. Even though advertising spend has increased, it's projected to be by $1 trillion by the end of this year, trillion US dollars. But traditional media, not getting much of it. And it's just difficult to keep the lights on in businesses like these. But we know the role we have to play, and so we have to crack on. But there'll be another morning for that, I can guarantee you, before the year is done. This morning I want to continue where I left off on Monday, because I genuinely believe that for what has been said about the management of crime in this country when things are bad, and things have been bad annually for so long, that again you can understand why the naysayers said a lot. And then again, it wouldn't even be fair to call them naysayers, because to naysay would be suggest that you're talking bad about something that isn't necessarily bad. The crime numbers were horrendous, and so the narrative around horrendous crime numbers was quite appropriate, and no criticism should accrue to those who wrote negatively about the losing battle we were fighting against violent crime. But it does invite the comment that why in this period of significantly better crime numbers, we aren't hearing those same places, or from the same places, in those same spaces, which were so strident with their criticism about it going wrong. Not this year alone, for the past 4 years, things have been trending in the right direction, leading us to the point where at the end of 2025, we're going to record the lowest homicide number in perhaps 2 generations. A generation is about 18 years. So 18 and 12, 13, all right, generation and a bit. Yeah, it is hugely significant, and I'm disappointed that more of our foremost forms for opinion are not making much of something that deserves much to be made of. There's a picture that has been making the rounds about a headline in the Gleaner. December 13, 2017 was the day. And Jermaine, can you put that picture up for me, please? This picture is the Gleaner's front page, and it says murder, 9,937 killed in a state of anarchy. It has the pictures of some of the murder victims, and it's a very effective front page. The Gleaners, the people who do these things at the Gleaner and the Observer, they are masters of their craft. They get it right so often with how they depict these things. the visual feasting. Yeah, the number, the front page also shows numbers for annual homicides. Yeah, annual homicide numbers. It has the year and it has the number of homicides beside the year in big print, and it has the pictures of so many boys, girls, men, women who have been victims of murder. 9,937 killed. And in the short time we have left, I just want to accompany that image with the piece the Gleaner wrote December 13, 2017, to support the gore that was being communicated through that front page, to tell you what the situation was at the time, the feeling was at the time. It starts, and this is the article that supports that front page. Things can't continue like this if Jamaicans hope to live in a civilized society and the government doesn't intend to compete for its legitimacy with criminal warlords. Instituting a turnaround will be difficult, but with the appropriate effort and some help can be done. If Prime Minister Holness is able to muster the will, he would ban all year-end parties by government ministries and agencies, declare Jamaica to be in a state of anarchy, and recall Parliament from its Christmas holiday for an urgent debate on the problem of crime. In other words, the Gleaner wrote, 8 years ago, it is important for Mr. Holness to grasp and acknowledge the emergency most Jamaicans know their country to be facing, and to pull together all stakeholders to formulate and articulate credible solutions, and with the support of all partners, critically the political opposition, mobilize the society for its implementation. In the forefront of this mission, therefore, must be Mr. Holness, his National Security Minister Robert Montague, the Commissioner of Police George Quayle, the Chief of Defence Staff of the Jamaica Defence Force Major General Rocky Meade, the Opposition Leader Peter Phillips, and the Shadow Security Minister Fitz Jackson. They are the ones, the Gleaner wrote, in that order, who Jamaicans should hold primarily responsible for finding workable solutions to this problem. Further, the Prime Minister contests the idea of crisis, or rejects, or has trouble conjuring the concept of anarchy, we invite him to attempt to visualize and contemplate the impact of any of a number of recent events, like last Saturday's incident in East Kingston, where gunmen fired on mourners at a funeral service. 2 persons were killed and several others injured. There was too, the Gleaner wrote on December 13, 2017, the June 16 incident in the heart of Montego Bay, the island's top resort, when, in busy traffic, men with powerful guns emerged from a car and shot dead Elvis Malcolm, 24, who was on his way from court in another vehicle. Or the one on September 1 that left George Hall, 70, dead. It was 11 a.m. Mr. Hall was driving his minivan along a busy Queens Drive. Gunmen intercepted his vehicle and cut him down. Said the Gleaner on December 13, 2017. Such incidents are not infrequent in Montego Bay or elsewhere in the parish of St. James, of which it is the capital, where there have already been well over 300 homicides so far this year, and the trending at over a quarter more than in 2016. Neither are they rare in the country as a whole, which in 2017 will record around 1,600 murders, the most in 7 years. Indeed, the Gleaner wrote December 13, 2017, the Malcolm and Hall murders and the many others like them represent impunity on the part of criminals who are aware that fewer than half of these murders will be cleared up and less still will ever reach the courts. Impunity of this order, and in this context, is the other side of the face of anarchy. Another perspective on this national debasement, the Gleaner wrote, is that the number of criminal homicides in Jamaica this year will be equivalent, taking the higher estimate of the persons who died in that incident, to nearly 23 times the number of people killed in the 2010 operation in Tivoli Gardens, for which Prime Minister Holness apologized in Parliament last week. Roughly, this is like 2 Tivolis occurring each month. Things can't continue like this if Jamaicans hope to live in a civilized society, and the government doesn't intend to compete for its legitimacy with criminal warlords. Instituting a turnaround will be difficult, but with the appropriate effort and some help, it can be done. Not so long ago, when the country's fiscal accounts were at the precipice and the economy faced grave dangers, Jamaica, with oversight from the IMF and monitored by a multifaceted group, took the tough decisions necessary to retreat from the abyss. The economy is now in reasonably decent health. The government was able to build societal consensus around the effort. The model can be replicated, but tailored to the specific circumstances. But first, the government, Mr. Holness et al., has to accept that there is a crisis in need of fixing, and the opposition, Dr. Phillips and company, has to be aware that there is no value in inheriting rot. That's what the Gleaner wrote. Jermaine, put the picture up again to accompany this troubling headline, this thought-provoking headline, this harrowing front page, because of how bad the situation with murder was then. Under normal circumstances, I would say, well, Gleaner, you have everything on your side. You have history, you have tradition, you have standards of excellence. I'm awaiting something similar to acknowledge and congratulate and put into the public record, as this is in the public record, the gains that have been made over the last 4 years that will result in the murder tally that we are set to finish the year with. The good thing is, if you don't do it, that's fine, because we are doing it here. And we are saying that from where we are coming, it deserves tremendous acclaim and acknowledgement what the year-end picture where major crime, especially murder, is concerned will be. You know, Tana, the man always say, buck up. I firmly believe that buck up are when you walk and lick up. What is happening this year and what has happened over the last 4 years from the leadership of Anthony Anderson, skillfully advanced by the team led by Dr. Kevin Blake, that are no buck up. And it demands, it deserves the kind of treatment that we have given to the several years before, when it was a tale of harrowing, gory detail, and we were reminded every day that we were part of the most murderous country in the world. The picture is changing. We have to acknowledge the change, and we have to encourage the agents of change.